Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Bytes, where we discuss all things crypto, DeFi, airdrop, and more. My name's Brian, and today we're going to go over a strategy that I've been using now for a few months to help me maximize the gains that I have both before and after I earn an airdrop from a specific protocol. So today we're not going to discuss any specific apps. Well, actually we will, but I'm not going to discuss any specific app that I'm currently airdrop farming. But rather I wanted to share with you an example of what I did with the recent airdrop that I received from Dolomite. And hopefully it can help you, learn something new, and you can use it yourself for future airdrops that you earn to maximize the amount that you earn from each airdrop. Now, the main reason why I'm bringing this up is because kind of the common thought process or the common actions that people do when they first get their airdrop is to just try and sell it as quickly as possible. And for good reason, because when you get an airdrop, usually the price tends to go down from where it was initially launched at least over the next few weeks. And then, if it's a good project, it might start rebounding after that time. There are some cases where, the price does go up after the airdrop, but for the most part, pretty much most tokens, once they're initially launched, the price goes down, and then it takes a few weeks, if not longer, for it to recover and get back to where it is. And so, yeah, let me go over what I did with this Dolomite airdrop. And yeah, hopefully you can then apply that to, airdrops that you're going to be receiving in the future. So let's jump into that. I guess first, before I go into the actual strategy, I just wanted to show you Dolomite here. I think I've talked about them on a couple of my videos in the past, but it's a lending and borrowing protocol. They've been around for quite a while. They just had their airdrop last week. It's currently the 29th of April now, so I think it was on like the 25th, 24th, somewhere around there. And yeah, it's not clear whether they will have a season 2 or not. I suspect that they will. But there's a bunch of different cool things that you can do here. You can deposit your funds and earn a supply APY. Sometimes pretty decent, sometimes, whatever. And one thing that I like about this is the strategies tab. So what I'm currently farming on here is I'm doing this looped SRUSD, which is Reservoir. That's their stablecoin. And so I'm able to earn an upfront yield of 12% on that stable amount, while at the same time I'm farming the Reservoir airdrop and potentially season 2 of Dolomite. So they make it easy to do things like that. They have all these different strategies here that you can take a look at if you'd like. But yeah, I didn't want to get too far into it, but I just wanted to give a shout out for Dolomite because they are a great app, and they gave out a pretty nice airdrop as well. So if you got one, congrats. Hopefully it was decent. But yeah, so let's get into what I did with my airdrop, and how I'm protecting myself to try and maximize the amount that I earn instead of just selling it outright right off the bat. So basically what I did, and you can do this with any airdrop that you get, is you go out there and you look to see if there's any LP pools that you can deposit that airdrop into, because typically what you'll see is when a new token launches, there's going to be a lot of trading, a lot of people dumping the token, buying the token, trading the token, etc. And so there's a lot of back and forth trading fees that are being created, and so you can find some LP pools, if you can, then they could be very lucrative. So what I did is I found this pool on Kodiak, which is a DEX on Barachain. They're currently running their own airdrop campaign now as well. If you aren't farming it, you can definitely do that. But yeah, I found this pool. It's currently paying almost a percent per day. This was almost double this amount. It was like in the 700s when it first launched. So, making 1% to 2% per day ever since the airdrop finalized. And yeah, at the same time, I'm potentially farming this airdrop, and I'm also potentially farming a Dolomite season 2 airdrop at the same time. So basically, what I did is I took my Dolo, I deposited into this pool, and then I went and I found a perp dex that has Dolo for trading, and I shorted it. Not the full, 1-to-1 amount of what my airdrop was, but about 20% of the amount. And so you can see here, classic. This is how a lot of tokens are when they first launch. It started around 7 cents, and it slowly kind of worked its way down, and it's about 5 cents right now. So that's what, about 30% drop from the initial launch. Now I didn't end up claiming it until somewhere around here, so it's maybe gone down about 20% since it's launched. And like I said, I've been making call it 1.5% per day, so I've made about 10% from that Kodiak pool. So I'm down 10% now. If I wasn't doing the shorting strategy on my airdrop. So if you're not, well, before I get into that, basically, so yeah, I shorted as soon as I claimed the airdrop. In some cases, depending on the token, usually it's for the larger airdrops, you'll be able to find perp dexes that enable trading of the token before it's even released. So on those ones, you even have a better opportunity to get in higher up with your short. Imagine if you shorted up here, you'd basically make almost 100% return, plus whatever leverage you're using if you would have ridden this kind of drop down along the way. So yeah, basically the strategy is simple. When you get an airdrop, you have two choices. One, you can just sell it right away. Two, you can go and kind of utilize it in DeFi to earn a yield, which the yields are usually pretty strong, at least for the first few weeks. So once this APY gets into the 100%, then I'll probably reevaluate and sell the token if it's not showing any kind of strength whatsoever. But in the meantime, I've hedged myself by shorting the coin on GMX here in this example. But usually, I don't use any centralized exchanges. They're usually the ones that get these listings. But if you can find a DEX, then like I mentioned in my last video, there's a lot of perp dexes out there that are running airdrop campaigns, so you can farm that campaign while at the same time hedging your airdrop here. So it's a strategy I've been using. I don't like dumping the coins right off the bat if I can help it. If an airdrop happens and there's no pools to deposit in, there's no way for me to short, and it's just kind of a nothing coin like Zora as an example that just happened. I just sold that right off the bat. It was $10 anyway, so it didn't really matter. It wasn't worth the hassle. But in this case, so that's another thing. If the airdrop is less than a few $100, then you probably don't want to go through the hassle of doing what I've just showed you in this video. But if it's a few $100 or more, then I would recommend trying to do something like this, because ultimately, in the case of Dolo here, I do think that the platform is good, the app is good, and the price is going to regain it, at least where it started from at some point. So if I'm able to hedge myself and also be making 1% per day on top of that from the LPing plus farm the other airdrop, then that's not bad, and most likely I'm going to end up making more from this airdrop than if I would have just sold it automatically and sold it into USDC and then put it on somewhere where I'm earning 10 or 12% per year on it. So yeah, just food for thought. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. And yeah, other than that, hope you guys have a good rest of the week. And until next time, happy farming.